Let's talk about The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book review is part of an ongoing collaboration called #ThursdayBookTube, hosted by myself and Life with Patty. We'd love for you to join us. There are really no rules. Just upload a video about something book related. Be sure to put the hashtag #ThursdayBookTube and tag myself and Life with Patty. I've really enjoyed this collaboration myself. I've met some lovely people and heard about some amazing books, some of which I've actually gone ahead and read myself because they sounded so compelling, and I would have never known about them if I hadn't have seen the video. The Midlife Library starts with a young woman named Nora Seed, and she's counting down by years, days, and hours till her suicide. She is about 35 years old. Her parents are dead. She has a poor relationship with her brother. A lot of stuff is not going well, and the night she decides to kill herself, her cat is found on the side of the road. As she sits there that evening thinking about it and thinking about ending her life, she looks at the regrets she has, the wrong turns she feels she's taken. Why is she in this job? Why didn't she get married? Maybe she should have done this. Maybe she should have done the other. All the opportunities she feels she had that she did not take advantage of. Close to midnight, she sits down and takes a bunch of pills. Now, I know at this point this sounds like a very tragic story, but it's actually, this whole book is extremely life-affirming, and it is a very moving story. As she takes the pills, she sort of wakes up in a huge room filled with books, all different shades of green, just lots and lots of books, and all sorts of hallways going in all sorts of directions, and it's literally a library. And the person who is sitting there's one person sitting there, somebody called Mrs. Elm. Nora recognizes Mrs. Elm. She remembers her from school. Mrs. Elm was an employee of the school where Nora went to study when she was a kid. Basically, the premise of the book, and Mrs. Elm is the guide here, is that Nora has an opportunity to look at her book of regrets, all the things she regretted, all the wrong turns she feels she has made, and to relive those lives, to just pick one of the avenues she could have taken and to go for it. And so she does. And so the book is basically her trying out these different lives. What if she had married this person? What if she had pursued this interest that she was very talented at? All sorts of things like that. And some of her visits to this parallel universe are very short, and some are very long. On the way, she meets somebody else who is doing this life hopping, and they talk briefly. They meet each other once or twice as they are both going through their parallel lives, and they talk about it a little bit. So Nora starts going through these lives, and some of these lives are major regret things that she feels she should have done. It would have been really life-altering. And other lives are minor regret. What if she had just made this tiny decision? What would her life have been like that? What would her life been like this? And she ends up having hundreds of adventures and hundreds of like parallel lives. We don't go through all of them in the book, but you do see some of them, and then you see a list of the lives she is trying out. The reason it is called the Midnight Library is because when she takes the pills and goes into this kind of coma, it is midnight. And as long as the clock stays at 00000, she's okay. Every once in a while, there is a shaking of the library. There's a near collapse of the library. Mrs. Elm becomes very agitated, and you realize that Nora might be dying. Right now in the Midnight Library, she is literally between life and death, having these experiences, and every once in a while she kind of goes down, and at that point, at the moment she dies, Mrs. Elm tells her there's no more going back to any life. The life you had before, any of the lives you choose. As long as she can stay in this place between life and death at the Midnight Library, she can try all these things. It's like a limbo. I'm not going to tell you how this ends, but it was extremely emotional. The book was very emotional. You have a young woman who seems like she's depressed. All these things have happened. She is on the cusp of middle age and just wondering if she's made the right decisions and what would have happened if she'd made other decisions. It's a beautiful book, more beautiful than I had expected, and it really made me think about my own life and the decisions I've made. And some of the decisions I've made have been big decisions, and some of the decisions I've made have been very tiny decisions at that moment, but they have changed the course of my life. So it's hard to say as you go through your life. You think of all these major decisions, buying a house or moving, and sometimes it's actually those micro decisions which are as dramatic in your life as anything that seems much bigger. In spite of the fact that this was kind of a heavy topic, it was a very good book, and it was kind of a light read. I was able to read it in one evening because I wasn't able to put it down. Start to finish, it was very enjoyable, and it ends up in a very satisfactory way. It's definitely of the fantasy type genre, but it was very human also. So I highly, highly recommend The Midnight Library. Very life-affirming. Gives you a great deal of pause for thought about not only this young woman's life, but your own life. And I enjoyed it immensely, and I hope you will too. Thank you so much for watching.